You know, I'm operating at a level where it's not making sense for me to spend money on a publicist.
So what do you use? You use Twitter and what else?
Tumblr, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook. Even though I really can't stand Facebook, people are still there. Right. So Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook is where you're most likely to hear about what I have going on.
I mean, that's where I get a lot of my information from nowadays. Like I see artists I follow and I see what they're doing, and I'm constantly getting hit with their information. That's how I knew about your last record. Actually, that's probably where I first found out about it.
But I'd like it to be, because one day Twitter's gonna be over. One day Facebook's gonna be over. Right. So that's why I have Quality Club and TalibKweli.com.
Right. I mean, Twitter is also direct fan engagement. So I mean, and I think at this level in the game, direct fan engagement can never be underestimated. I mean, so at one point in your career, right, I would say record sales were the bulk of your income.
I don't think record sales were ever the bulk of my income.
Really? Explain.
You know, when I first came into business, I was operating on, old school recording budgets. So, like Black Star, we recorded for like $70,000. You know, Raucous. The original budget was $30,000, but we pushed it up to $70,000. Then Reflection Eternal.
That's a big push.
Yeah, we did. It was over time. It was like another five.
Right.
Reflection Eternal cost $500,000 because we were sitting in Electric Lady and Platinum Island and Cotton Room and sitting there coming up with ideas and recording the expensive ass 2-inch reels. And, so we learned from that. And I recorded Quality for a little bit less, maybe $200,000.
Right.
But by the time I got to Right About Now in 2004, after Beautiful Struggle, I started realizing, like with Pharrell, when I paid the Neptunes an obscene amount of money for a Neptunes beat. Obscene.
Obscene.
With a capital O.
How much? How much?
It was obscene.
It was obscene?
That's my private business. Get out my pocket.
My bad.
It was obscene even by those standards back then. Not even by today's standards. It was obscene back then, but I thought I was going to have a Neptune single. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it'd be Nori or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? The label didn't get permission.
That nigga Nori.
So I have a great record. I love the record. Broken Glass is a great record. People don't know Faith Evans is on the hook. She's not sounding like Faith, but she's making voices and whatever. By the time I did Beautiful Struggle, the waste that's spent on producers, I can't say it's a waste of producers. Look, if you can get X amount of dollars, go get it. But I'm not paying that no more.
And it's not necessary.
It's not necessary, and it's like, I did Right About Now just myself. After Right About Now, I did Liberation. I had a bunch of Mad Lib beats, and about a week before Christmas break, I recorded on like 10 of the beats. I called Mad Lib, and I was like, yo, can we just drop this for free? Because like the Mad Lib samples and clearing the samples, let's just drop this for free. He was like, cool. Stones Throw, great label. They took it and put it on their website, like, new Stones Throw. I was like, nah, y'all didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was me. My manager got mad at me, Corey got mad at me, Jay-Z called Corey, like, what's Quality doing, putting out free albums, he's fucking up the game. But me doing that, thank you, I appreciate it. And that's why I did that, because me doing that,
right, I loved it.
Me doing that brought back in a contingent of fans who maybe didn't like Beautiful Struggle. They saw Beautiful Struggle. Now, I stand by Beautiful Struggle. I stand by it as one of my greatest albums. But the funniest thing about Beautiful Struggle, people are like, I don't like Quality trying to get all these new producers on Beautiful. High Tech did most of the beats on Beautiful Struggle. So people be like, yo, Quality trying to get away from that High Tech sound. Not actually, he did most of the beats. But Just Blaze was on it, Kanye West was on it, Mary J. Blige, Faith, Anthony Hamilton, the Neptunes.
I thought it was great.
But there were a lot of fans who, that was the first time in my career where it was like, Quality's doing something different. He's going commercial. He's not sticking to his roots.
Well, you're trying to evolve, and you have that door open in your career, and that's the time when you got to step through the door.
Yeah, it's like you start as the indie rock band, and then you get a string section.
That's it. Exactly.
But I did Liberation, and that brought fans back, like who thought that Beautiful Struggle might have been over the top.
Right.
So then when Eardrum came out, now Eardrum's an album with Norah Jones and Justin Timberlake on it, but it's also got KRS-One and Jean Grey on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Eardrum was me getting everybody. I think Eardrum was the first time that I really got it as far as what I was supposed to do.
Right, you were being eclectic. It's funny you talk about giving a record away for free. So I think for emerging artists in particular, you have to give away music for free. I've seen lots of guys build a career.
Thank you for that. You're welcome. I'm just bullshit. There was plenty of people who gave out free music before me.
I mean, we've seen A$AP Rocky, Yellow Wolf, Action Bronx, all those guys give away music for free. And that's how they built their career in the beginning. And they did it with co-branded sponsorships a lot of time. And that plays a big part in the game right now. So, are you exploring co-branded sponsorship, and is that important in your hustle right now?
I think it's dangerous when artists start looking at themselves as a brand. But it's also necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it's a very thin line, because when you start thinking like that, it starts to affect and seep into your art. You gotta be very, very, very careful. And I think
you're thinking if it's palatable to this company or that company.
Right, like I think, you know, like other genres of music don't have these issues as much. Like indie rock bands, it seems like, even if they have band meetings, there might be one guy who's like, yo, we need to treat this like a band, and everyone else like, fuck that, it's about the music.
The other side of that, though, is the Beastie Boys do not allow any of their music to be licensed. They've given it away to a couple of skateboard videos, just because they like the kids, but they will not do licensing deals with people. You cannot use their music.
Yeah, you know, there's certain artists who, you know, I look at artists like Andre 3000, I've never seen him. I hadn't seen him again, and now he's done about 7 of them since then.
I mean, the other side of that coin is, you know, my friend Everlast and Muggs jump around, one of the most licensed songs in history. And those guys make, you know, a couple $100,000 every year, not some 20 years after it came out. So it's a necessary part of the game, I think.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous, and but you have to do it. I just think that you have to make sure that the quality of the product is there first.
You do, and there's other ways to do it, like, you know, touring. You can also have, like, you know, someone sponsor your tour and stuff. And that brings me to this. So touring, obviously, in the record business for you now is a very important component, correct?
Well, for me, it's been the most important component. As a matter of fact, the way it seems to me is that the downsizing of the record industry forced a lot of artists to catch up to what Corey Smith, you know, my business partner for 20 years, put me on too early. You know, Corey Smith was managing De La at the time when he started managing me, and De La Soul, you know, De La Soul is my favorite rap group. So I'm looking at these 3 grown men with families and kids, and everybody has a house, and everybody lives in a different part of the country. And De La hadn't had a hit record on the radio for years. When Corey was managing, I think Ooh with Redman was our last big radio hit, right? So this was around that era. But even that was a minor hit. That wasn't a huge.
It wasn't Me, Myself, and I.
No, it wasn't. And it wasn't, De La wasn't going platinum anymore. They weren't a cutting edge rap group. However, they were extremely comfortable, and they would travel in the world. And whenever money got low, they would get on the road and do a tour. And so that's how I learned. I learned from following, getting on tour with De La Soul, getting on tour with The Roots. This is when I first came into business of Roy, because I spent my first 2 years of having records out on the road 250 days a year. And that relationship I developed with that fans carries me to this day. To this day,
100%.
To this day, people show up to see me do Get By. They show up to see me to do Get the Blast. I'll be like, yo, I got a new album out. They're like, oh, that's cool. I came to see you do The Blast and Get By. Part of it is because of that touring. Part of it is marketing and promotion. Ruckus Records spent millions of dollars marketing and promoting Black Star, Reflection Eternal, Eardrum Quality.
I mean, they helped you build a brand.
They did. And my later records, that money wasn't spent in those ways to market and promote.
You're in a big machine. You don't get that personal treatment anymore. You know, the passion isn't always there. And when you talk about touring, so the way that De La tours and the way that you tour, that's the way indie rock bands tour traditionally. That's the way it's done. And I think that it's such an important component in every artist's career right now. I mean, because the fact of the matter is, you know, selling 100,000 is the new gold, right? And you may not do that, but you don't need to do those numbers to be a successful touring act. Currency sells less than 100,000 every time, but he tours like crazy. And he's good for 2,500 tickets in every major market, and he can do 100 plus shows a year. He can come to New York 4 times a year and play a 2,000 person venue and sell it out every time. And that's without ever having a hit record. Reason being, he is a touring act the way a rock band is. And I think when I look at your career, I see you as one of those guys. It's also you've opened for big groups before. You were out on the road with the Beasties. I saw that. And I think that you steal fans every time you get those opportunities. And I think it's very, very important because we have to come to this realization that we probably won't sell the records we once sold. It probably will never happen again. And we have these exceptions to the rules, and they are exceptions. You know, if I mean, let's take even like so the Black Star record, right? What would a new Black Star record sell today?
5,000 copies.
No,
10,000 copies.
more than that.
We're talking about within the first couple of months?
First
Oh.
week, we'll